I know you see the Amazonian personality and you're going, how could this yet have been a child? But there was a time when she was a youth. But years ago, y'all know Bob Bale? He's the preacher here. He's the fat, goofy guy who walks around. He walks around with this look on his face all the time, like, Bob. All right, Bob and I, Bob may be he may be, of all the guys I've known in ministry, I've probably known Bob as long as anybody. Which means we kind of came up about the same time. He just got old and I didn't. But I want to share with you guys, I'm not going to really get into what we're going to talk about a lot this weekend, but I'm going to give you kind of this is going to be like a platform, kind of like the diving board to dive into the weekend. So for those of you who are sinners and aren't going to be here, because you go to work or whatever, go pay bills, because you don't love Jesus, whatever, babysit, whatever.
I don't feel bad now.
I'm just picking. I'm a picker. I don't blow all the time. It's so much more fun because you. But here's the deal. I'm excited about what I'm going to share with you guys Friday night and Saturday night. But tonight, I was asked if I would just come up here and kind of give you all a sample, if you will. This is like the little miniature candy bars, just to give you a morsel of where we're going this week. But yet, it's going to be great for you because you have to work and you can't come because you don't love Jesus. Oh, and I hope. I'm just kidding. But I want to share with you guys a story that happened with Bob Bale back in our younger years when we were in student ministry. He was at a church down in Springfield, Georgia. I was at a church in Augusta, Georgia, which is about 2.5 hours, 3 hours apart. We actually did some camps together. I'd bring my students, he'd bring his students, and we just had this big blowout of an event. There was a particular camp, and I'm not going into the story, because as soon as I say this, some people are going to be like, oh, that story. It's not that story. But it's the same camp. The camp's called Camp Ebenezer. And it's just it's a student camp. It's a cool camp. There's a lot of cool things about that camp that I have fun with sometimes. Probably not going to do it this year, but maybe down the road, whatever. But here's the deal. The way the camp is set up, the dining hall was like your typical dining hall. It had tables, chairs, everybody sat in long rows of tables. Saturday morning, I had to go potty. And I'm not going to go into detail, but it involved, I'm a man, it involves sitting. And so that's all I'm going to say. And so I go up, but here's how the dining hall is set up. You got a dining hall down here, but you had to go upstairs, and there was like these little balcony areas, and that's where the men's rooms and the ladies' rooms were. Ladies' rooms over here, men's rooms over here. I got to go potty. I go to the potty room. It makes sense. Well, I go into the bathroom. This bathroom has no windows. There's nothing to let light into this room. I'm in there, and I'm doing what you do when you go potty, when all of a sudden the lights go out. But no, I mean, like Bob's not a ninja. Like I heard the door open, all of a sudden the lights go out, and he giggles and he walks off. So I'm sitting there, because once you start, you don't just stop. You got to finish. But I'm doing it in the dark, which wasn't a problem because the aim situation was handled by just sitting. I'm sitting, and then I'm thinking, okay, I got to, finish everything. I did that. But now I'm going, it's really dark. And when it's real dark, what do you do when you're in a real pitch dark room? What do you do?
I scream.
Wrong answer. No, wrong answer. You don't fall asleep. Here's what you do. You because you're not trying to. You don't sleep in the toilet. That's a bad place to sleep. But I'm sitting there, and so I'm trying to see. In that, I will say, darkness is the absence of light. You ain't got an answer for that one, do you, Miss Artistic Chick? All right. Because it's truth. But it is pitch dark in this bathroom. There's no light. And so I'm sitting there. I reassemble my attire, and I'm like looking really hard. Like your eyes get bigger so you can see. And so I'm trying to see through the dark. I've been in this bathroom when the light was on, but I didn't study it. I didn't evaluate, like, oh, I'm about 3 feet this way, I can find the sink, and da-da-da-da. Then I had those counter deals. So it's pitch dark, and I'm going, I find my way to the counter, and I'm just going, well, I know I gotta go that way, so I follow the counter, and I follow the counter. What's your biggest nightmare?
Spider.
No. Wrong answer again.
Clowns.
No. When you were a kid, when you had to turn the lights off in your bedroom, did you not run and take a jump into your bed? And why? Because the boogeyman was going to grab your foot, and you knew it. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man, and I'm feeling my way down the counter like this. Out of nowhere, Bob Bale. You're a preacher. Sinner. Grabs my hand. I always thought I was done going potty. So he got me. You got to give him props. He got me. Because I swore I heard him lie. So I go, and I thought, I assumed he went out. He did not go out. He stayed like a ninja, like. He grabbed my hand, freaked me out, like legit freaked me out. Like I squealed like one of these real high pitched, really not manly squeal, like.
Just feel like a girl.
So the next morning, Sunday morning, I decided, you know what? Game on. I see Bob. I didn't say anything to Bob. I just, man, you scared the mess out of me. Really, you got me. High five, you got me. I let his guard come down. I didn't go, oh, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to get even with you. I was just like, you got me. That was awesome.
Aww.
Totally played. Because he's a sucker. And so Bob, I'm sitting there, we're eating breakfast. And all of a sudden I see Bob going up the stairs. Game on. And I know what you're thinking. Turn the lights off. Grab it. Grab it. Nay, my friend. I'm more creative than that. I took a Snickers candy bar. And I kept it in my pocket. All morning long. Just for this opportunity. Snickers, when in your pocket, you have body heat. Body heat melts Snicker bars. Snickers bars are, they're milk chocolate. They're that nougat stuff that's just a weird word. And peanuts. I mean, it's pretty much a Snickers bar. Which, when melted, looks a lot like something else. Okay?
You melted?
So Bob is in his stall going potty. I go in the stall next to him. I'm not even trying to be secretive. I'm sitting there, I'm talking to Bob. Like, man, that was a good breakfast. Yeah, you're right. It was a good breakfast. I take out the Snickers bar, and I start rubbing it all in my fingers, all up and down my arm, my hand. Just
and that is disgusting.
You have no idea, brother. And I got it, just, and Bob, he's over there, and I could tell by the rustling of paper, if you will, that he's wrapping up business. So I knock on the stall wall next to me, and Bob goes, what's up? I was like, and I reach under, I was like, you got any toilet paper? And he saw my hand, and he screamed so loud. He kicked open the stall door, and he goes, dude, you got problems. And I opened my stall door, and I'm licking my finger like, no, I got it. Just like that. Ask Bob about it. I'm sure his side of the story is just as fun, but
But you, sir, fun.
I'm so excited about where we're going for the next few days. Not just because I know we're gonna have a lot of fun. I mean, Darren and the adults that have pulled this thing together, they can sit there and go, oh, let's see how boring we can make this thing. I mean, honestly, everything that they've planned, and you can probably, I mean, for you, and I'll say this for me, I'm from South Carolina, and I haven't seen snow in 2 years in South Carolina. Like, it rarely snowed. I live in a state that if they see a single snowflake, there's some redneck up in a fire tower with binoculars going, "Oh snap, man, I see a snowflake." They're shutting down the whole city. Milk is gone from the shelves of the grocery stores. Moms are bringing in the children and they're hammering boards on the windows because some redneck goes, "No man, I see a snowflake, look at it, right there." Shut her down, man. Send everybody home. Shut the schools down. Like, we freaking snow in the South. So, for me, I don't know that I could ever be bored going tubing down a snowy hill. I don't know how that can be boring. It can be cold. It can be dangerous. But those things are kind of exciting and all right. So, especially if you hear a redneck like me going, "Whoa!" But I've got news for you. There's this great encounter. This is what I want to give you a hint. We're going to be talking. I'll go ahead and tell you. We're talking about road signs for the next few days. That's going to be the theme that I'm bringing to you. Is the theme of road signs. And I'm doing it because I think you and I are guilty of a lot of things. And I'm not just talking about guilty of sin. I think we're guilty of our attitude towards sin. And I think the reason I say that is I actually shared this with some college friends of mine that I'm in ministry with. And it was probably one of the boldest things I ever said to a group of college-age folks. And I just looked at them and said, "You know what? I don't think we wrestle with sin. In fact, I think we embrace sin. And I think we grab a hold of it and we justify it. And I think we're really good at it. I think you and me, I think we're all great at it. I'm an expert at it. And I will tell you right now, yeah, I'm a preacher and all that stuff, but I can tell you right now that we don't fear sin the way sin should be feared. And I think God is directing us in a way. He's given us a whole book full of direction. And it's going to be a cool ride. But here's where the cool factor kicks in. It is an extraordinary response that God has to your sin and my sin. It's this kind of extraordinary. There's a moment in the Word where Jesus is in the New Testament. Jesus sends the disciples ahead. He says, "Y'all go on ahead. I'll catch up with y'all later." And so they get in a boat. They got to go across a lake. And so they get in this boat and they start paddling across the lake. All the disciples. Jesus, he's chilling on the banks. He goes up, he prays, spends some time with his Father, and he's just, doing what Jesus do. And they get in a boat and they start going. Well, about 3 hours into their travel, so it gives you an idea, they're paddling a pretty long way. I got news for you. When these moments happen, it feels like forever. But they're paddling, and a storm comes over the lake. And the Bible refers to these guys, they are straining against the oars, which means these big, burly fishermen, lovers of Jesus, followers of Jesus, are now straining at the oars. And they're pulling as hard as they can. They're pulling as hard as they can because the storm is against them. And doesn't that always feel like forever? When you feel like, here's forever. Andy.
No,
Adam. Close. I'm kidding. I just met you. Back off. Don't judge. Adam. Let's say you text a girl you're kind of right over, okay? You text her. You just go. I'm just saying, because I think any of us know the reality of this. This is forever. Take your phone. Hey. Hope you're doing great. Smiley face.